don't regret moving here at all. Like, I love it here, and Uruguay is such a wonderful country. It's just been so much harder than I thought it would be to settle in and adjust, and a lot of that is due to the coronavirus. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, then hi, hello, welcome. My name is Maddie and I make videos. As I'm sure you can tell by the title and thumbnail of the video, today we're talking about my recent experience moving from Australia to Uruguay right before the global pandemic hit. And if any of that sounds interesting, then just keep on watching this video. Now, I'm going to be trying to focus mostly on the ways that our move here, or just like settling into this country, has been affected by the virus. But if you are interested in more of like a what it was like being a foreigner in Uruguay video, like regardless of global pandemic stuff, I could definitely make videos about that in the future, so just let me know in the comments down below, as well as anything on like tips and tricks for packing up your whole life and moving overseas. So if any of that sounds interesting, or you just want to see more videos from me, then I would love it if you could comment down below and let me know what you want to see. And of course, if you do enjoy this video, then please give it a big thumbs up. It lets me know to make more videos like this, and also lets the YouTube algorithm know that people like my video, and therefore it's more likely to recommend it to other people. So yeah, that would really help me out. And of course, I'm sure you already know this, but if you do want to see more videos from me, then please subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. Hit that little notification bell, and then you'll always be notified when I upload a video. Okay, so now let's get into the backstory on why I moved here. So towards the end of last year, I was talking with my boyfriend at the time about what we were going to do next. I was finishing up at university. We were living together at my parents' house in Adelaide, South Australia, where I'd grown up my whole life, and he had an Australian visa, but it was running out. So we had to do something, and figured if we were going to move overseas, now would be the perfect time to do it. Since all of that happened, we've actually gotten engaged, so he is now my fiance, obviously soon to be my husband, but that's a video for another time. And the reason we picked Montevideo is because his mother is Uruguayan, his father is South African, but we just thought Montevideo would be a little bit safer and just a little bit more of a different experience, and why the hell not? So we packed up everything in January, had our engagement party in February, and then 12 days later we were on a plane flying out. We actually ended up going to South Africa first because I'd never even met his parents, and now we were engaged, and I just wanted to, you know, meet them and get to know them. So we were there for a few weeks, and then from South Africa we went straight to Montevideo. So it was like a one-way trip, but we did, actually here's Australia on the map by the way, so we were in South Australia right down the bottom here, and then flew to South Africa, right in the middle behind my head, right down to Uruguay, which if you don't know on the map is right between Brazil and Argentina, on the edge. Very small country in between two huge countries. So that's what we did. And funny story actually, as we were packing up to leave Adelaide, well, I mean it's funny now, at the time it was not funny, but Alejandro, my fiance, got a kidney stone 2 days before our flight was scheduled to leave Adelaide. So I was in hysterics. I thought he was like dying. He did too. And we were like, and then when we realized he wasn't dying, we were like, frick, like are we gonna be able to get on our plane in 2 days and still make this journey? Which it all went well in the end, but I will link that vlog down below. I posted that over on this channel because we do actually have a vlog channel now. So if you want to see anything from the time we hit Montevideo onwards, that's all on the vlog channel. I have that link down below and up in the cards. But yeah, that was a wild ride. And then of course we vlogged the whole time in South Africa as well. So if you're interested on like travel stuff, I'll have those videos linked down below. But for the purpose of this video, let's skip ahead until we arrived in Montevideo. So by the time we arrived here, it was like the 12th of March and there were no cases of coronavirus in Uruguay at the time. There were none recorded in South Africa when we left there, and none here when we landed. So we were kind of like, oh, it's fine. Like we were still heavily using like hand sanitizer on the plane, being really careful, trying to stay away from people as much as we could, but there's only so much you can do when you're on a flight. But we managed to make it here all good. We didn't see any symptoms. We were like trying to keep our distance and be safe for the first few weeks, just in case we had picked up anything on the way here, because you just never know. But so far so good, everything was fine. All right, so arriving in Montevideo, we booked a hotel for 2 nights. So that was just for the first 2 nights to get ourselves settled in, because luckily we did have an apartment lined up already, which we're now in. I'll have the empty apartment tour link down below if you want to go check that out. But that would have been a nightmare to try and find an apartment if we didn't have family to help us. But because Alejandro's mother's family is all still here, his aunt and uncle actually live in the same building that we're renting in. They live on the penthouse floor, and his aunt has some kind of role in the real estate of the building, so she let us know that there was an empty apartment, what the price was, showed us pictures of the place. It's pretty small, and honestly when I first saw it I was like, oh my god, like I thought it'd be a little bit bigger, but turns out it's perfect in the end. Again, go check out the vlogs if you want to know more about that. But it was a lifesaver. So essentially before we'd even arrived, we had this place like on hold, but it wasn't until we got here and we saw the place in person, then we were like, okay, yes, like we're happy with this, and like signed off on it, and then we moved in pretty much straight away. We didn't have any furniture, the place was completely empty. So the first thing we got was a bed, and then we did manage to pick up like a fridge and an oven and a microwave and things like that, like all of the essentials within the first 2 weeks. And I think we even got a TV towards the end of the second week, because we were just like, okay, we need something to do. But yeah, so we kind of got the place fit out with like bare essentials, but we didn't have a ton of savings, so I didn't want to just buy too much stuff. We didn't do anything decorative. No, we didn't have a dining table, we didn't have any chairs, like not that we really had room for a table, but we currently have an island bench and some stools, which are great, but again, we didn't get those at the start, and we didn't want to spend all our money in the first 2 weeks. The bed we got was actually super expensive, but Alejandro is 6'9", so we didn't really have a choice on that one, but we had to get a king size, and that is just the way it goes when you're dating a tall man. And during this whole time, again, still no cases in Uruguay, so we're like, all right, sweet, everything is normal, everything is fine. We were just getting to the point where I was starting to make money again, and I was feeling a little bit more confident in going out, looking at furniture stores and picking things out. But of course, then everything changed. So pretty much overnight, Uruguay went from 0 cases to I think 5 in the first day, and then the next day was like 100 and something, because one person had flown in from Spain and gone to a wedding, like a pretty high profile wedding with hundreds of people, and she was contagious, which then spread to all these people at the wedding, who then spread to other people because they didn't know, and you know how it works, just bam bam bam. Because of that, and thank goodness they did, but at the time it was very annoying that the city just went overnight like dead. So for example, if the cases were first diagnosed on a Friday, by the following Monday there was news saying like, okay, we've got cases in the city, we're gonna shut things, like we're gonna be making some changes, prepare for this. And then the following day, on Tuesday, everything was closed. Like we're talking, the only things open were not even all, but very select few banks. Major supermarkets and some of the smaller corner stores were still open, and pharmacies, and like literally everything else was closed, which we didn't really have a lot of notice for, or any notice for. It was just like closed. On that same day, we actually had an appointment in the city to go get Alejandro his ID card, because here everyone works by like their ID card. It's like back in Australia you'd have your driver's license and you'd use that to show your age and if you wanted to like buy alcohol and things, but otherwise we don't really use, or of course if you're actually driving, and if you don't have a driver's license then you'd get a proof of age card. But here it's like every single person has this like card with their face on it and their number, and you use it for all sorts of things, like to sign up for Wi-Fi, to pay rent, to get points at the grocery store, like everything you need this card for. And he had only spent 1 year in this country, and his old card was expired a few years ago, so we just needed to get a new one. But on the day we rock up at the office to do that, they were like, oh actually we're not seeing anyone today, goodbye, and just like shut the doors again. And we were like, excuse me, we kind of need this. So luckily with a bit of persuasion we managed to get in and get his ID sorted, but without that we like couldn't have even signed up for Wi-Fi and things like that. So we went straight from that office to a company that we could sign up for Wi-Fi with, and then got that sorted. But again, due to coronavirus, they said that the install time would be 2 to 3 weeks. So we still were going to be going for another while with no Wi-Fi in the house, which is annoying enough for most people when you're stuck inside your apartment, but when you work online on social media and you have to upload videos to YouTube via like hotspotting your phone, it was really not fun. Some of the other challenges during this time were signing up for a bank account. It actually took us probably until almost the end of 2 months here before we got a bank account, because the banks are only open at certain hours, and then a lot of them are still closed. You had to go to very specific like locations that were still open. You had to all be wearing your masks and this and that and blah blah blah, and there were just like long lines. And then we finally get our card, and it turns out the card we got we couldn't use online, so then we had to go back and get another card because the standard card was not like online friendly. Just things that again that I would never have to worry about in Australia, because everything's kind of just set up for online shopping, but we'll get to that a little later on. All this stuff is very basic. I feel like most people went through this with things being closed down, but like the shopping malls were also closed, and we didn't have a lot of our stuff. We couldn't travel with anything because we could only have, you know, 2 suitcases each, and going into South Africa we could only bring 1 suitcase each, so it was even less stuff. But because we made that trip, like that stopover on the way, it was just even more challenging. But yeah, if we hadn't been new to the country, we would have been fine. But the basics that we were planning to go out and buy, you know, over those next few weeks after we'd finally saved up a bit more money again, we just couldn't go and get. And then you try to order things online and you have to pay import fees. So yeah, let's talk about that actually. Let's talk about the cost of living here. So first of all, things here are more expensive than I realized. Groceries here are quite expensive, especially compared to the like average income here. And then ever since we got here, we've been living off of 1 income because Alejandro doesn't have a job at the moment, and my job is working on like YouTube and stuff, so I don't get paid that much yet. Please, like, manifesting some more money. But we were living off of 1 income, and he kept applying to jobs and then getting turned down because places just weren't looking for anyone right now, which again I know everyone can relate to. But yeah, they're just not looking to hire. And then even the ones that were hiring didn't want to hire him because he's foreign, but he's like legally a citizen and he can speak the local language a lot better than I can. So it was just very frustrating to get like turned down again and again and again. But I'm sure something will come up soon. And in the meantime, we're definitely getting by, but it's a struggle. And then let's talk about postage. I did a whole video where I just like complained about postage, so you can go check that out if you're interested. But the short story is that anything that you order in from outside of the country, you have to pay a 60% import tax on like the value of the item, and it's just like a bit of a hassle to sort out. And people aren't that forthcoming with the information on how to do things here. Like for example, because we could only bring a certain amount of stuff with us on the plane in our suitcases, I had actually organized like a box of all my things, or all our things, to be sent from Adelaide to here via sea mail. So it was a lot cheaper, it was going to be slow, it was going to get here after we did, and then it would all be fine, we'd have some extra stuff. But there was a lot of miscommunication around that. I think it accidentally got sent via airmail, so it actually arrived here before we did. And then by the time we finally like had organized for someone to pick us up and take us to the customs place to like pay for it and pick it up, like the office was closed because of the virus. So we couldn't get our package because they were literally closed. And then I was checking the tracking online, and then all of a sudden it had just been sent back to Australia, but they never told us that it was going to be sent back to Australia. So there was no warning. Our package was just like returned to sender essentially, and we were like, excuse me? So all of our winter stuff was in that second box, and now here we are in the middle of winter, and I didn't have anything warm to wear because we had been, you know, traveling around in the summertime. But yeah, so eventually we figured out like how to navigate the postal system, but at first it was a challenge and it was just annoying that people weren't very helpful. Same thing when it comes to paying bills. We found that it's been quite difficult, like, because the systems here are just so different, but we'll get like a bill and it'll have a little barcode on it, and then we'll have to go to the special like payment building and then scan the barcode and pay it there. But the first time we did that, we didn't have any clue what we were doing. And Ali was like asking the lady there, being like, oh, like, could you just help me out? Like, we've never done this before. And people just are not that, I mean, this is not everyone. Some people are so nice and so friendly and so kind, but there are other people who we've like asked for help and they've just like been really reluctant to actually help us out. It's not until we make it very clear that it's like, hey, excuse me, we're foreign, we've never done this before, can you please just show us how it's done? Like, just tell it to me as if I'm an idiot, because I don't know what I'm doing, and they just expect everyone to know how things work. Alright, so let's talk about language and socialization now. Being a South American country, surprise, surprise, everyone here speaks Spanish, and I do not. I know for a fact that other people during this time have knuckled down in their apartments and learnt foreign languages on their phones, and to that I say, good on you. That's not the case for me. I have not. I know basic Spanish and I've been learning it for a little while, but I've been learning it slowly, and it's my confidence is the biggest issue. Like, I know a lot of words, and when someone speaks to me I can understand, I'd say like 75% of what they're saying, but it's the actual like coming up with a response in my head and the confidence of actually saying it out loud. That's what I struggle with. Again, money's been tight, so I couldn't pay for an online class or anything, and if there was no corona, I could sign up at the university and go to a language class there, which would be a lot cheaper than the ones I've seen online, I'm sure, but they're not really an option right now. We also haven't had a lot of practice because we haven't been going out, we haven't been seeing anyone, so I haven't really been able to talk to them. And then whenever we go out of the house together, I just kind of let Alejandro do all the talking, because like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, basically. And then when I am out by myself, I can manage, but I can kind of do like the hi, hello, like how are you, I'm good thanks, like, you know, that kind of thing, like the pleasantries. But if someone asks me a question, I often feel so rude because I'll just stand there and be like, or I'll be like, lo siento, like, no hablo español. And then I just like leave. So it's just, especially when everyone has masks on. Do I have mine here? Anyway, you know what a mask looks like. But when someone's wearing a mask and they're speaking in a language that you don't understand that well, it's hard enough to understand them when they're speaking in English because it just muffles everything. But then you add on top of that the fact that it's a foreign language for me, and I just like can't hear anything, and it's just a nightmare. So it's not the ideal environment for learning languages. I also haven't had that much experience with like speaking to his family even. There have been times where we've gotten to hang out with people and that's been so nice, and his best friend we've hung out with a few times and he speaks quite good English actually, so that's been really great. And one of his cousins, his girlfriend, speaks really great English, so that's been really nice as well. But it's at that point where I've been here long enough that I feel pretty like guilty not speaking Spanish. Like, I don't want to force everyone else to try and speak English for me when I should really just like be speaking Spanish by now. So that is my major goal right now, is just to practice, even if it's inside the house. So we actually have like stickers up around the room. So those green post-it notes are like the one in the corner says esquina, because esquina means corner. So we have post-it notes around the house to help me learn like random words. But yeah, that is my goal. And then when I've learned a bit more Spanish, then hopefully I can actually start making some friends. Alright, so last but not least, missing home. I really didn't think I would miss home that much, and I truly didn't until my best friend got pregnant. And I'm so excited and happy for her, but I just wish I could be there to like hang out with her and go baby shopping and, you know, like do all the little things. So I'm really hoping I'll be able to travel home soon, because she's due to give birth in, I think, is it October? No, November? I think she might be due in November. Anyway, so she's due towards the end of the year and I've been hoping I can visit in September. But with like the travel restrictions, and I don't have a visa for here yet actually, that's another thing, we're working on it. I had 90 days in the country visa free, but the 90 days have passed now and we are in the process of like trying to apply, so it's not like we've just been doing nothing. But everyone has been very understanding about me not having my IDs yet because of Corona, so that's been one thing that they've been super kind about. But yeah, so that is something that's in the works, but until I get that sorted I can't leave the country because I wouldn't necessarily be allowed back. So yeah, that is next on the list. But we're also sorting out like marriage licenses at the moment, so hopefully if we can just get that done, it'll, you know, speed up the process of the visa. But yeah, so I really want to visit home, and then after that, of course, then my sister is also now pregnant with baby number 2. So my best friend pregnant with her first baby, my older sister pregnant with baby number 2, and I wanted to visit home regardless, and I think just knowing that I can't anytime soon just makes it hard. Like I talk to my family every single Sunday, we have like a video chat and that's so nice, just like catch up with everyone. It's super early for us because between here and Adelaide is 12.5 hours time difference, so there'll be 8 p.m. at night and it'll be 7:30 in the morning for me on a Sunday, but it's worth it to get up and just like have a chat with everyone. And I do talk to my friends as well sometimes, but with the time difference it definitely makes it difficult because I only have one friend who I can talk to in the middle of the day because she's actually in the UK at the moment, so she's like, you know, still awake when I'm awake. But yeah, so other than that I've not really missed home too much. Like yes, life in Adelaide was a lot easier than it is here, but that's mostly just because it's what I was used to. Like, and the whole point of moving is to have a new change and to learn new things and have new experiences, so I don't regret moving here at all. Like I love it here, and Uruguay is such a wonderful country. It's just been so much harder than I thought it would be to settle in and adjust, and a lot of that is due to the coronavirus. It just is, and I mean some of it is definitely my fault, and then there's like the anxiety and the depression around like all this kind of thing. So it's just, yeah, it's not been easy, but we're getting through the other end now, and I'm hoping that will be, it mostly feels like home now. But during those first few weeks when we were locked up inside, I might as well have been anywhere in the world because we hardly went out. We'd leave the house to go for a walk out along the beachfront on La Rambla, and then we'd come back. But the rest of the time we were inside. I would film videos, edit videos, upload them, sit on my computer. Like I could have been anywhere. And then like I haven't seen too much of like the neighboring like cities, or we were hoping that we'd be able to travel and visit like Brazil and Argentina and Chile, but of course not right now, because I mean Uruguay's pretty good on the virus right now. It's like pretty much gone, but Brazil is doing not good, so we're not going to be heading there anytime soon. So yeah, we haven't been able to see as much as we would have hoped, but I'm sure that'll all change soon. Hopefully we get a car soon, then we can drive around a lot more instead of having to wait for other people to come pick us up or paying for Ubers. But yeah, that's essentially it for today's video. I'm sure I've missed some things. I tried to talk about as many different areas as I could, but I also don't want to make this like a 2-hour long video. So with that being said, thanks for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed, and if you have made it all the way to the end, thank you so much. Comment the little globe emoji down below, and I'll be sure to give your comment a heart. If you have any other questions, travel or moving related, leave them in the comments down below and I'll be sure to answer them down there. Again, if you want to see any of this stuff in real time, go watch our vlogs and you can see a week by week account of our move here. And of course all my social media will be linked in the description box down below if you want to go follow me on, I don't know, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, wherever. Go follow me. And and of course, subscribe to my channel if you've made it this far and you haven't already. I would love to have you as part of the family. But thanks for watching. I post every Friday and sometimes Mondays as well. So I will see you next time with a brand new video. Bye. Yeah, like baby. 𝒐𝒊𝒍𝒎𝒅.
pendiente a ti, de que tú llegaste a mí. Me tienes loco como tú te mueves. Yo no sé si hoy te atreves.